In the previous episode of Mashley, Mash is a physically strong boy who lives in a society where magic determines one's social status. Unfortunately, Mash is unable to use magic, which makes him an outcast. Mash made a deal with Brad to become the chosen one in the most prestigious school of magic in the country. But first he had to get in. Despite him being unable to use magic, he passed with flying colors, only using his brute strength. And to maintain his peaceful life with his grandfather, he will have to become the divine visionary and outperform every other mage in the academy. Mash's life in a magic school to become a divine visionary has begun. Mash turns to his roommate Finn and requests to borrow his broom for tomorrow's class. He had mistakenly purchased burdock, mistaking it for a broom. Despite Finn's reservations about Mash, he finds it difficult to ignore his roommate's predicament and agrees to lend him the broom. The following day, the students are required to ride brooms in class, channeling their magical powers through the broomsticks to command them to fly. As the rest of the class begins chanting their spells, Mash is determined to become the top student, but he can't use magic. When he tries to command his broom to fly, he is met with nothing but silence. One of his classmates approaches him, stating that if he cannot even make his broom float, he has no place among them, and he is slowing them down. Despite the criticism, Mash stubbornly stomps the ground and grabs the broom, pretending to get it with magic by chanting "fly" spell after a huge delay. This leaves his classmate puzzled and accusing him of cheating, but Mash feigns ignorance. Now that everyone has a grasp on how to fly their broom, it's time for a broom race, and the cocky classmate of Mash proposes a bet, where the loser has to obey the winner as long as they are at the academy. Without a second thought, Mash accepts it. Unlike the other students, this kid has been riding brooms since middle school and is sure victory is his. Remembering yesterday's class, the teacher isn't even sure that Mash can fly his broom. On their marks, ready, set, go. Mash has already finished the race before it truly began, leaving the cocky kid dumbfounded, and the teacher is screaming in disbelief. "A new world record has been set!" No one from the class can explain what just happened, except Finn. He witnessed it all. Mash threw his broom, then immediately jumped towards the broom and mounted it mid-air. How is that even possible? Mash's arrogant classmate charges towards him, accusing him of cheating since what he had accomplished is beyond human capability. The classmate refuses to accept his defeat, and Mash, feeling sorry for him, decides to abandon the bet. What a shame. The humiliated kid perceives Mash's action as mockery and is about to speak his mind when a spell binds his mouth. Another student, Cavill, apologizes for his friend's rudeness. Turns out Cavill is somewhat of an accomplished bully at school, and the other students do their best to steer clear from him. Mash's actions with the broom really caught Cavill's attention and wants to be his friend. He introduces himself as Lloyd Cavill, but Mash hears it as Spud Cabbage. Like what? With an intimidating look, Cavill tells the jokester to meet him here after school, and the teacher rushes in to stop whatever was about to happen. Cavill is furious his friend lost to Mash and punches him for being a loser and not following simple orders. Cavill just wanted him to mess with Mash and punches the light out of the guy, although he's happy he found a new toy. Mash turns to Finn, questioning who Cavill is and why is everyone afraid of him. Finn explains that Cavill is a continuing student from middle school, and his father is a high-ranking member at the Bureau of Magic, and everyone knows that the Bureau of Magic is absolute in this realm. Of course, Mash knew that. Essentially, anyone who opposes Cavill is liable to face expulsion, as the vice principal is closely linked to his family. Finn, being a continuing student himself, has witnessed multiple instances where students who upset Cavill were expelled from the academy, and the torment persisted even after they dropped out. That's why everyone obeys him. After classes, Mash is making more cream puffs, his favorite treat in any kind of situation, and wishes his pops could taste these, remembering his deal with Brad, and once again setting his sights to become the top student. Still, he feels he's forgetting something. Cavill is enraged that Mash didn't show up. The following day, the class focuses on potion mixing, and Mash discovers that his notebook is in disarray, without any knowledge of how it happened, nor who was responsible. It is at this moment that Cavill confronts Mash and wonders why Mash didn't show up yesterday. Mash honestly confesses that he was busy baking cream puffs. Cavill's facade begins to crack as he struggles to maintain his composure. Being aware of Mash's aspirations to become a divine visionary, Cavill dangles a tempting carrot in front of him, declaring that he holds sway with the vice principal and could recommend him, as long as Mash agrees to be his doggy. Mash obliviously agrees. It's difficult to imagine that there will be no strings attached, and as expected, Cavill commands him to perform a variety of demeaning tasks, which Mash obediently accepts, responding with a simple K. Meanwhile, Finn watches silently from the sidelines. The next day, again his textbook is all torn up, asking Finn to lend him his. To avoid being noticed by Cavill, he responds with a Mash is already next to him, thanking Finn for being a lifesaver. Even though he wanted to say no, After Mash says that Finn is a great friend, he stays silent. Mash also thanks Cavill for helping him out with becoming a divine visionary, who then proceeds to spill his water on purpose and feigns it as an accident, commanding Mash to clean it up. Without saying a word, Mash does it, cleaning it until the ground sparkles. Just as he stands up, Finn's book falls out. In the hallway, Cavill expresses his boredom with textbook burning and suggests pressuring Mash further by targeting his clothes. The one doing his bidding turns out to be Finn, but he has had enough. He gathers his courage and declares that he won't assist Cavill in bullying Mash any longer. Furious, Cavill uses his magic and brings Finn to his knees, attacking him for insubordination. Meanwhile, Mash is looking for Finn to return the textbook. He finds Finn on the ground, all roughed up and bleeding. Mash wants to know what is going on. Finn starts crying and reveals that it was him who ruined his textbooks. He was ordered to and too scared to disobey Cavill. But when Mash said that Finn is a great friend, guilt overwhelmed him and he couldn't do it any longer, apologizing to Mash for everything. Cavill once again uses his "I have connections with the vice principal" card, saying he is about to dine with him, asking Mash to join him and leaving the dirty loser as is. Mash calmly walks to Cavill, grabs his head and pounds him to the ground, saying he should apologize to Finn. Cavill's lackeys are shocked. Finn notes that because of this he can be expelled, but Mash just asks, "Is that a big deal?" Moments later, a realization. Actually, it is a big deal. It dawns on him that he's done something bad. The vice principal approaches and indeed confirms that it's something bad. He has witnessed the whole thing, but instead of taking their side, he says that Finn and Mash will be held accountable, since they are of a lower class and need to be taught a lesson. Mash knees principal. He couldn't help it since he wasn't that open to reason. Mash is really the type of a guy who acts before he thinks. With a stoic attitude, he questions. But really, after one, what's one more? A real killer logic. The vice principal is furious and says that he can expel ordinary students like Mash at any time. Just as the VP wants to cast a spell to restrain Mash, Mash smashes his face with dirt he got from digging a hole in the hall. He grabs the VP and plants him in the hole, burying him up. The VP is in disbelief, saying that Mash won't get away with it, but same as VP can expel Mash at any time, Mash can bury him at any time. Mash promises that whatever happens to him, even if he's in a cell, he will get out, he will find him, and he will bury him. The vice principal is shocked and screams for Mash to stop. Mash is summoned to the principal, who assumes that Mash knows why. Mash, because I made cream puffs in the dorm kitchen without asking. No, because he punched Cavill and buried the vice principal. Even the Bureau of Magic has gotten involved and issued a notice for Mash's immediate expulsion. The Bureau of Magic is the country's highest legal authority, and the core of their organization are the Divine Visionaries, whom the Academy trains and furnishes with qualified students. Given Cavill's father's high-ranking position at the Bureau, Mash's actions are considered unforgivable. The principal, however, is of a different mind. Years ago, the principal took this position to abolish the world where those in authority, power, and self-interest are at the center. The principal notes that there are far too few people who sacrifice themselves and act for the greater good. For this reason, the principal wants Mash to become a divine visionary and change the world. Fortunately, Mash is already planning on doing just that. The principal explains that to become a divine visionary, one must be the top student at the academy by earning enough coins from schoolwork and activities. Overwhelmed by the information, Mash passes out. The principal quickly summarizes the requirements and assures Mash that he will handle the Bureau of Magic and vice principal. Mash returns to his dorm to find Finn, who is relieved that he wasn't expelled. With no punishment and the recognition of the other students for defeating Cavill and the vice principal, Mash has become someone acknowledged by his peers. Later, walking down the hall with Finn, Mash explains how to make the best cream puffs. Tom suddenly calls out the mushroom head and invites him to represent Adler Dorm in a duello match. He is quite popular with the ladies. On the other hand, they also note that Mash is like fungus. Tom explains that duello is a sport where they compete using brooms, the #1 sport in the magic realm. But Mash can't use magic, but everyone already knows how he blew away his competition in his class earlier. Even though Mash tries to refuse, Tom continues. The game is tomorrow and he is counting on him. I didn't think it would be possible, but Tom is denser than Mash. The next day, everyone is counting on Mash, but he can't ride the broom. Whoever wins this match will get a silver coin. Noticing that Mash isn't even trying to fly, the crowd goes wild. Even though he can't, to reclaim his peaceful life with Pops, Mash has to fly. Thank you for watching. Subscribe for more videos like this.